Assalamualaikum, I'm Umar Kichi.
Walaikum salam. I'm Areeb.
I'm from Team Tamisha. We are a student-run organization working for the empowerment and inclusivity of differently able people in our society. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Areeb Kichi. I live in New York with my brother. I've been here for about 10 years now. So, yeah.
Uh-huh. Let's start with the interview. How do you think society perceives disabled individuals today compared to a decade ago?
Well, I think that society's perception has definitely improved in that area, but there's still a ton of work to do. And for instance, let's say 10 years ago, many people saw disability as a limitation or um, rather than a different way of experiencing the world. But with increased representation and increased awareness, I think there's more understanding and less discrimination. But nonetheless, I think discrimination still does exist, and especially when it comes to employment or social settings. So I think while there's been a shift in the perception of people who are differently abled, from let's say a mindset of pity or from a pity mindset, it has definitely switched a little bit, but I think there's still some work to do, and even though there's been some positive you know shift in that area.
Moving on to the next question. Do you think disabled people have equal opportunities in the workplace? Why or why not?
Not yet. I think that the ADA has made it illegal to discriminate, but many workspaces still don't accommodate disabled employees properly. I mean, at least not implicitly. I think there's still some discrimination there. Although explicitly, I think of course, you can't do those sorts of things anymore. Especially if you're living in a place like America, for instance. And job applications aren't always accessible, or the interview process might be different, stuff like that. And some employees, I think, hesitate to hire differently abled individuals due to outdated assumptions about productivity. Remote work has definitely opened doors, and has made it a little bit better for people who are differently abled. But hiring biases and lack of accessibility in offices, I think, still create some limitations, and companies need to see disability.
Moving on to the next question. How well do you think differently able individuals are represented in media and pop culture?
I think it's getting better, but there's still a gap, and disabled characters are. I think there's definitely more representation on TV and movies, for instance, but they are frequently played by non-disabled actors, which is very frustrating because I think that there needs to be more representation within the same sector by the same people, and they need to have a voice of their own. And also many stories either portray disability as something very tragic, or as something overly inspirational. I think that their story needs to be told, um not from a point of pity or not from a point of something tragic, but just as a normal person. So I think that's very important, and what we need is, for these stories to be more realistic, diverse, and closer to reality, as opposed to something that's just frivolous. So representation matters, and I think that when it's done right, it really helps to break stereotypes. So I think that that's an area where definitely
Uh-huh.
more work could be done. Yeah.
What impact has social media had on disability empowerment?
I think that social media has definitely been a game changer, and before, disabled individuals had to rely on traditional media, to tell their stories, but now they're able to advocate for themselves in their own words, which I think is great. Platforms like Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, for instance, have given a voice to activists, helping them to expose and fight for policy change, and connect disabled individuals worldwide. So I think that it has really helped in that arena. And also, I think additionally, businesses that fail to be inclusive are being held accountable. Um, because people can now call them out publicly. They can talk about these things on social media. So I think that that's great. And it's I think it's really given them a platform to drive these real conversations and make disability rights more visible than ever.
What areas of public life still need better accessibility for disabled individuals?
I think, particularly in Pakistan, I would say that public transportation, workplaces, and digital accessibility are still are big issues. And many subway stations, for instance, lack elevators, and bus systems. They don't always accommodate for wheelchairs or for instance. So I think digital accessibility is also another huge challenge, where many websites and apps are not designed for people who have vision impairment or some kind of motor disability. So I think true accessibility means that these people are not you shouldn't have to ask for accommodation, and that it's already built into the system, and they don't feel differently when they're moving out.
Is there any piece of advice you would like to the younger generation?
Yeah, I think my only piece of advice would be to work hard, and if you believe in something, if you have a goal, I think you should not let anything get in the way. You should really put in an effort, and you should put in an effort. You should work hard, and leave the rest to Allah. And hopefully, if you work hard enough, nothing is impossible to achieve. I sincerely believe that. So yeah, hard work.
That's all for today. Thanks a lot for your time.